Welcome to Strip Talking, a podcast from stripwalking.com.
Don't put words in his mouth. Put monster burgers in his mouth.
Light 'em up, light 'em up.
Yes, those are the right words. The wrong notes, but the right words.
I did not eat tuna in college, despite my best efforts.
It's what brings fun to Vegas, math.
A branch of the Branch Davidians, David Cornish.
I don't know if my spreadsheet can handle negatives. Oh, yep, it did.
Usually that's one of the things that really comes naturally to you is insulting me.
We can still be friends.
I don't think so.
I don't know that I'll respect you as much.
I don't know that we can respect him at all.
You get the right words, wrong notes, Joe, right?
Here are your hosts, and maybe.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Strip Talking Podcast, brought to you by stripwalking.com. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jay, as you know. I've got Mike here with us. Mike, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Jay. How are you?
I'm pretty fantastic. Yeah, pretty fantastic. We'll say okay. See, in there I said just like Geoff. Geoff with a G is not here tonight with us, unfortunately, but we do have a special guest tonight, Adam. Adam, thank you for being with us.
Good to be with you guys.
Adam with an A.
Adam with an A.
It is. Just like it
Spelled
sounds.
correctly. Thank you for that.
Adam is the total package. He goes to Vegas.
Quit talking about my package.
He'll fit right in. See? He does credit card points.
I do. I let Mike take care of all my points for me.
And he likes to make fun of Geoff.
Ah, okay.
No, I can't admit that. Jeff's not here. Seems unfair.
Working toward a full-time spot on this podcast, I can see.
No, I'm happy to be here. Yeah. Excited to get some advice from you guys.
Adam has the next Vegas trip planned of the three of us.
I do. Unfortunately, it's kind of a work-type trip, but I will have some time to get out and see some of the sights and maybe roll some dice. I know you two guys are pretty big into craps. Isn't that correct? Or is it more Geoff that really likes the craps table?
It's all of us.
Yeah, all of us, for sure.
I have a few different options as far as hotels are concerned, because I'm actually going down for a conference mid-September. So I've got 3 different places I can choose from. So it can be the Aria, which I have stayed at before. The Vdara, is that how you say that? That's close by. And then the other is Cosmo, which I've been through. So anyway, I didn't know if you guys had any opinions.
Oh, we've got opinions.
Is the conference at any of those resorts specifically?
It is. It's at the Aria. But it seems like all of them are kind of in the same vicinity of each other. So it seems close enough to walk if I had to.
Would you say there is a medium, high, or very high amount of drinking at the conference?
At the conference itself is pretty low during the day, but there's an after-hours party where it ramps up quickly. So after about 4 p.m., all bets are off.
Where's the after-hours party at?
I don't remember. They sent me an email on that. Last time we froze our butts off in some sort of Five Below or something
right.
bar.
About that.
It's all ice inside. Terrible idea, for a get together.
I was on the Link Promenade, wasn't it?
Yeah, promenade. I put my pinky up when I say that.
Promenade.
It's, if you're looking for a place for people to get together and socialize and talk a little bit, it's all the opposite of that. You freeze your butt off. It's loud in there because they're playing a lot of loud music and stuff. And even it's like a meat locker in there. And so even the fans and stuff are loud. It wasn't a great time. So wouldn't recommend it as far as, if you want to visit with somebody. But the drinks were free. So there's that.
Yeah, I could put up with some noise for free drinks, but
Did you get cut off?
I did not. I didn't get thrown out or asked not to come back, which will let Geoff down, I know, but I'll try harder next time, Geoff. I
That
promise.
will disappoint Geoff.
So, no, it's off-site. I don't remember where, but
So it's not any of the 3 hotels.
it's not, no.
Okay.
So I have to be able to crawl back, I guess, is kind of the point of this.
Yeah,
So-
and that's really why I asked the question, because I think vicinity to where you may be drinking at night is an important consideration.
I totally agree. Where did we go last time, Mike, where I had to jump off of the, were we in the bus? We'd been drinking.
I was
I
downtown.
was with you, I thought. Yeah, we were downtown coming back. I couldn't make it, so I had to take an exit, and then I walked back about, I don't know,
We're,
8-9
it's
blocks.
kind of a funny story. We were riding the Deuce,
Hey, of course, I didn't have to take a Deuce, but yeah, we were on the Deuce.
and he just had to go. So where were we staying, or where we were trying to get to?
Was that Bally's? I don't remember if that was.
I think it was further south than that, even.
It may have been.
But
Yeah, it was an
he
emergency.
didn't make it past Wynn.
No. So I bailed off early and found a alley with another nice gentleman, and we just kind of took turns. It was okay. It was good.
So he probably won't be doing the bar car at high roller either.
Yeah, no restrooms on the bar cars.
But you only have a half hour, right? Isn't it a half hour
Yeah.
for a rotation, or is it longer than
Nope,
that?
half hour.
Oh, I can do it for a
Yeah.
half hour. I can handle it for a half hour.
You would think so. It's
set the bar pretty high.
Jay has experience.
yeah, and
Was Geoff with you?
no,
No.
it was just
I haven't done it either.
just my wife and I and another couple we went with. I made it. We all made it, but it was touch and go for a little bit.
I don't know that you have a choice but to make it.
Nope, you don't. You don't.
I've got to believe that somebody hasn't made it.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's happened.
Probably daily.
I would think so.
And those cars would be pretty easy to hose out, I would think. They probably designed them like that on purpose.
You would think vomit and everything else, sure. Yeah.
You said part of the problem was from the time you can go to the restroom, then you have to stand in line to get on the car. And that can take.
But you're not drinking, right? While you're standing in line, right? The drinking doesn't start until you get on there, unless you brought it with you.
Yeah,
Well, you can buy alcohol.
Yeah, no.
You can buy alcohol at that bar before you get on.
sure. And sometimes you got a pocket beer. You never know. So, yeah, the line can get pretty long, especially for the drinking carts. The non-drinking carts, the line moves a great deal faster. But for the drinking carts, it can be quite the wait. Especially right after dark. That's when everybody seems to want to go, or it seems super busy right then.
Well, now I want to put it on my spreadsheet to hit that
Yeah.
this trip and try it out. Do it while nobody's around that I know. So if something bad happens, nobody's got to
True.
know.
No, it's worth doing. All these facts aside, it's still worth it.
I don't think I could make it. I think I'll be peeing in the trash can.
They do have a trash can.
Probably not the first, I'm sure.
I could make it a lot longer when I know I have a bathroom available. It's a mental thing. It's on the plane too. When I know I can't go, then I immediately have to go.
Well, since we're on this topic then, so what's your opinion on adult diapers? If I'm thinking outside the box here a little
Right.
bit.
I do not disagree with that.
Honest? You don't need to use them, but if you got them, it's better to have and not need kind of thing. I'm just thinking.
Maybe that's a missed opportunity for the high roller, just to have a vending machine of them or something right there
Yeah.
before you get on.
I think that's golden
You
opportunity.
could sell them $10 a pair. Be making money hand over fist.
Of course, people would be putting them on in line, and that might get a little awkward.
I've seen a lot of awkward things, and I don't go to Vegas nearly as much as you guys do. I mean, just if I'm being honest. I don't know. You could have them with like your piece like strip walking merch. Adult diapers.
Interesting.
I'm just saying.
You're bringing a lot of ideas to
Yeah.
the table already.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Like I
hate to disappoint.
Like I said, working on a permanent spot here. Interesting.
Sorry, Geoff.
I mean, what would you say Jeff's best idea has been?
Awkward.
Can you think of an idea from Geoff?
I thought his idea with the rental car was supposed to be a good one, but that doesn't count.
Is that really an idea? I mean,
I don't know. I thought it was. not a great idea.
Thousands of people get rental cars every day, I would think, in Vegas.
Let's table that question. Let's table that question for now.
I'm not going to say you're the first to think of adult diapers on the high roller, but it's not like a rental car. There's not as many people with that idea.
I don't know. Maybe somebody that listens to you guys has already tried it.
That's true. Tell us in the comments of this episode if you've tried this.
2 stars is what I hear.
Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up. Too soon. Too soon.
Too soon.
That was also Geoff. I am convinced that was Geoff.
I bet it was, Geoff.
What would Geoff have to gain from that?
He was jealous.
Of whom?
You were kind of taking his spot.
I can see that. My first couple of episodes were content gold.
So we'll have to put that on the list to try. I've had this idea for a while that I keep saying, but I haven't got done. I want to do a timeshare presentation and try and film it, put it on YouTube, just to see how bad it really is.
Actually, I got a guy that works with me that has a timeshare down there that I think it was their last month. And they sat in on an hour-long, well, I think it was an hour-long presentation for a $100 gift thing, which, $100 doesn't really seem to go very far. But he said it's kind of brutal. I've never been to one either. Why not?
I never have either.
You get, some people say it's brutal, some say it's not that bad. So I want to find out for myself.
Yeah, you wonder if it's like those people that hate the dentist, they hate buying a new car, that kind of mindset. Is it really as bad as they say? A little hyperbolic? I don't know.
And I'm sure they don't want you filming, so that's going to be the tricky part. But
well,
like those little tiny cameras.
I think putting it on YouTube would be a public service so people could see what it's like.
Sure would.
I would read the terms and conditions that you sign before posting anything publicly.
I don't give a shit.
As your acting legal counsel.
I was just going to ask, is Jay a lawyer?
I am for Mike.
That's awesome.
Sometimes.
Somebody's got to be. That's good. You're a good friend.
It's not the worst idea. I'm stuck on this adult diaper thing. We're coming back to that, but it's not the worst idea. It would be interesting.
What if you wore adult diapers into the timeshare?
See, sometimes going to the bathroom is my only excuse to get out of something. So I'd hate to take that away.
Well, you could say you gotta change your adult diaper. I mean, still you'd have to get up and go.
If you just took a shit in one, though, that might get you out of there.
That'd get you out.
Yeah, for sure.
Or they might just look at you and say, "You're fucking crazy. Get out of here."
Do I still get the free gift?
I think so.
Okay, I'm cool.
I think if they kick you out, you still get the free stuff, right?
I have no idea.
Something to
fine print.
Another thing to find out.
This is full of good questions. To me, back to being serious, Vegas time is too precious.
I'm totally serious.
Vegas time is too precious to be wasting sitting in a room for $100 or whatever it is. If it's something super juicy, maybe, but Vegas time is just too precious.
I think I agree.
I think I've wasted much time sitting in many rooms in Vegas. just not timeshare.
Okay.
Like a White Castle room.
No, those are delicious.
I'll tell you what, my body didn't think it was delicious about 2 hours later.
We finally found the first strike against Adam. He hates White Castle.
Yeah, nobody's perfect. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Anyway, did you guys give me any advice before we get too far in the weeds about my 3?
It's probably, you thought it was just a standard room. If it's like a balcony room, I think it's a no-brainer you go Cosmo, but
I don't think.
If it is a balcony room, we have a few assignments.
Such as?
Well, there's a website in the works. We've mentioned it on previous podcasts.
We're talking about my sister.
Oh, good point.
Well, you said the wives don't listen to this,
But
so
she's not going anyway, so.
Oh, okay.
She's not. No.
Okay, perfect.
So that's going to make the assignment tougher.
Yeah, very much so.
Actually, there's two different achievements that we've almost touched upon here. One in the high roller and one on the Cosmo balcony.
Right. And it's not
Tell me more.
not peeing in the corner of either one.
There isn't much more to tell.
Okay. I'm going to have some free time, so, don't threaten me with a good time, Mike.
Well, you're going to have to find...
You'll need a free couple $100 too, if you're going without your wife.
No stops at the craps table. Okay.
I don't know what a Vegas hooker is these days, but
I think the high roller is tougher. It's a tougher achievement.
it's more public, less private. I think, yeah, tougher for sure. You get the movement of the cars, which
and the other people.
Yeah.
And the cameras.
Some people like that. I'm not judging.
So go at night. Okay. Isn't Geoff single, or is he not single?
He is. He'd never do it.
Sounds like achievements for a single, strapping young man like him.
I've threatened to get him a hooker several times.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll do it.
No, I don't think he would.
I don't know. They sure seem to like him. We go walking with him on the strip, and they all come flocking to him wanting pictures and stuff.
He has a very photogenic face.
He does.
It's a rare compliment to Geoff, but
photogenic or punchable.
Jeff's too nice. Jeff would end up like doing the hooker's homework or something. Helping.
He would get robbed. He would absolutely get robbed.
Nice guys finish last. It's unfortunate.
Okay, back to advice. We do keep getting off track, Adam. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I mean, assume it's a conference. They got block rooms, so I got to assume it's just a standard room, nothing fancy. So, but could I upgrade to maybe something else? Maybe. So
will the company pay for it, or will you have to pay for the upgrade?
I probably have to pay for that. But if it's worth it,
How long is the conference?
I will be there from Sunday to Friday morning.
So you're going to want a hooker that charges by the day.
I don't know how those rules work, I guess. I got some homework to do.
Yeah, you don't want like a Julia Roberts Pretty Woman thing, like where you have him for a while. No.
She was kind of clingy anyway. So
maybe you want a different one each day.
They have like a punch card or something that get 3, get 1
like
free.
Subway used to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that should be part of Cosmo Coitus. We should have a punch card for that.
Okay.
Is this podcast always awesome ideas, or is this special?
This is pretty gold here.
Well, when it's Jay and I, it's usually awesome ideas.
I can believe that.
Who would do the punching?
Thank you.
Who would do the punching of the card, though? Is it like honor system? Is it for the Cosmo Coitus punch card? I mean,
oh, for that, well, you got to give them their key or beat them in person at some point, don't you?
True.
Did you listen to the Cosmo Coitus episode, Adam?
Would I want to do one? Is that what you said?
Did you listen to the episode called Cosmo Coitus?
Oh, I didn't. No,
So
I guess I'll have to.
My idea is a website called cosmocoitus.com where we rent out a room at Cosmo, a balcony room, and then rent it to people by the hour so that they can check off the achievement.
So you just have an entire pile of bedding and things like that to swap out after each one, or how does that work? Probably some logistics you haven't thought of yet, but
we actually did discuss those logistics, and I think Jay wanted to actually have some sort of cleaning. I'm like,
squeegee and some Windex would be probably good. So
what they don't know won't hurt them, or it might, but they can't pin it on us anyway. So
sign this waiver for sure.
Nothing penicillin couldn't cure.
We were going to upcharge for cleaning, weren't we?
Yeah.
If you want a clean room, it's like $50 more.
I think there should be a base level of cleaning, but for a deeper scrub, maybe a little upcharge. Yeah.
Or maybe just sell them some baby wipes or something.
Yeah. Free Lysol. Not free, upcharge, but
yeah,
little can of Lysol.
It's all about microtransactions.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah. I don't know, Mike. Maybe you should just go with me. You go. That's in September. Start feeling out these things.
I'd like to go. Jay, you want to go? Sorry, I interrupted you opening a beer. My
No.
bad.
I went on mute for just a second to open.
It's okay. We can hear the beer open.
I had to switch to Miller Lite. I'm out of Space Dust IPA, which is not a sponsor. Again, we should call them.
Yeah, not a lot of sponsors calling yet.
Someday. You're getting close.
Hopefully, Earl of Sandwiches first.
That would be the best.
Yeah, actually, I listened to that episode. Was that in the last episode you talked about it? It's pretty good.
You're talking about the sandwich or the episode?
Oh, I'm talking about the sandwich, I guess. The episode.
That's pretty good.
I don't remember exactly. It's pretty good.
It's aight.
I'd take a Schlotzsky's, I think, over a Earl sandwich, but that's just me.
What?
I'm gonna have Schlotzsky's forever.
Oh yeah.
Oh no! Now we're gonna have to kick you off the podcast.
It's a shame. I'm gonna die on that hill. I love that stuff.
Did you know that Schlotzsky's has closed in the Excalibur?
No, that was the only one that I remembered.
I think that's the only one on the strip, isn't it?
I am really sad.
Man, what's left?
I'm gonna find another
What's left in the Excalibur then?
Popeyes, Pizza Hut.
What's the thing in the basement with the guys with the swords and stuff?
Oh yeah,
It's not really a
Tournament
restaurant.
of
But
Kings.
you get
Well,
food
yeah,
there.
that's a
Yeah.
show more than a restaurant. But
There's like an Italian place on the second floor, Buca di Beppo's or something maybe.
oh yeah, right when you go up the escalator.
Yeah, right top of the escalators.
I've never actually ate there.
I think I did once. We were like the only people in there. Super average.
I mean, if you have to go to Excalibur to eat, you're kind of behind the eight ball to begin with.
That's for sure.
No, not when Schlotzsky's was there. But everything else I can agree with, yeah.
There's a new wing place at not Luxor, New York has a new like food court up there on top of the escalators right before you go across the skywalk to Excalibur.
What's it called?
It's just a food court. There's a wing place. I think it's called Wing Zone or something. There's a pizza place too, but everyone on social media was laughing about how expensive the pizza is. Geoff would tell you to go to Moneyline Pizza at Aria. He thinks that pizza's awesome. It's all right.
I've eaten there. Yeah, it was all right. If I had to buy it, I would. I don't know.
But if you stayed
I might skip.
If you stayed at Cosmo, it's just across the skywalk is Earl of Sandwich.
So is that the vote?
Yeah, Cosmo's kind of coming out the leader here, I think.
I think so. The only drawback is you're kind of a little old for it. And no offense.
I'll shave off my gray beard, so I'll look like a younger man again.
Right.
It's probably true. It is pretty hip for an old guy like me.
Yeah, I'm not sure you're hip enough.
I like the beard.
Thank you.
I like it when it's not scratching the microphone.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, yeah. Isn't that the place? Cosmo's got that big ass chandelier in it, doesn't it? That's what Geoff likes, that big chandelier.
Oh yes. Geoff's not here to tell you about it, but he would. They've also got the I think the consensus is it's a bit overrated on this podcast, the secret pizza.
Oh, I think you took me to that
Yeah,
when we went to
we
one of
did.
those times. It's definitely hidden, that's for sure. I don't think I would have found it.
It was just okay, I thought. I didn't think it was anything special.
Yeah. I think it was like super greasy too, wasn't it?
Very greasy.
We sat outside, yeah. It wasn't anything great. At least we can say we ate there.
Yep. And now we can make fun of it. Say it sucks. And piss off the people that love it. Have you ate there, Jay?
No. No, I have not. I'm not sure I've ever even been inside Cosmo.
What?
I don't think so.
Really?
Not that I remember.
Well, you are also probably too old for it.
Yeah. I'm too old for like Planet Hollywood and stuff though. I feel very old.
You go downtown a lot?
Yeah. That's my crowd. To be fair, I kind of feel old anywhere I go, even like, to Walmart. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I understand.
Boy, that's setting the bar pretty
Yeah, it
low.
is.
Walmart.
Yeah, it is.
I'm surprised there's not a Walmart on the Strip.
I don't even know where Walmart would be in Vegas.
There's a Target. Isn't there a Target on the Strip now?
Oh, Target. What's that? CVS and stuff that's along there.
Yeah, there's a few CVS's, Walgreens. Yep, I got Google up. There's one by the airport on the other side of the airport.
Where nobody goes.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was land even over there. Real estate's probably a little pricey for Walmart in Vegas.
I want to make Geoff for strip walking walk from the airport to MGM Grand. I think that's a good idea.
Ooh, how far is that?
I don't think it'd be that bad. Maybe half an hour, 45 minutes.
Like anything
Is it a couple miles?
in Vegas, I feel that it looks closer than it really is.
That's Geoff's joke. So he should have to walk it.
True. He wouldn't make that joke anymore. He probably would. Do you think the walk from the airport to MGM is that a commonly walked route?
I think a lot of people look at the map and say, could you walk from the airport to the Strip?
Right. Should I pay for an Uber? Should I pay for a taxi?
And then we would have the answer. We would have how long it takes, what the walk actually looks like.
I hate to even admit it, but I thought about that
Yeah.
a couple times ago.
I've mapped it. I've mapped it on our strip walking, not on the part you can see because we don't have video for it, but there's sidewalks all the way.
I've been very close to making the walk the other direction because I was out of frickin' money and needed to get back to the airport.
I don't know, man. I could probably be hired. Send me a camera and some walking money. I might consider it.
Some walking money. How much walking money?
Oh, I don't know. We can discuss that offline. No, but seriously, I have thought about walking it, but will I do it this trip? I don't know. Depends on how hot it is.
Again, Vegas time is just too valuable to be walking. What was it, a half hour? I used to try to save $10 or whatever and take the hotel shuttles, Oh my God, they're horrible. Vegas time, too valuable.
Yes, that is not worth it.
It's not. Just get a damn Uber like a normal person.
I hate take the Ubers from the airport because you got to go to that parking garage and
Yeah.
there's all these people standing around wait. I'd just rather get in the taxis where there's a line and you don't have to wait.
They just call them up.
I heard the same thing. Taxis are the way to go. I've always done Uber too. And then, like you said, it's a zoo when you get there, and then you're trying to pick out your car and 500 other cars that are coming in.
Right. And it's kind of like a shady spot in the garage.
It really is. It seems like an afterthought, level of the parking garage. Yeah. Super shady.
Coming back, I'll take an Uber. You can just get picked up in front of your hotel then. But when I get there, I usually take taxi. And you're right, those shuttles suck.
Yeah. And I suppose if you get lucky and your hotel is the first one on the list, if you're at the MGM or something that into the Strip,
and they ain't that cheap either.
No, they're not. But you stay at the Sahara or the Stratosphere or something, you're on that bus for a freaking hour.
And the taxis are fixed rates now.
True.
So now I'm down to walking or taxi. It sounds like it's probably gonna be taxi, I guess, if I'm honest. I am kind of lazy.
It's a long ways.
Do you have a rolling carry-on or you just carry a backpack?
I just have a backpack. I travel light.
It's going to be weighing you down, though, when you walk from the airport.
Yeah, a little bit.
If there was something on the way, but there just isn't.
No, there really isn't.
If you could stop and duck into somewhere that had air conditioning for a little while, hit the craps table for 5 minutes, and then keep walking, maybe.
Oyo is the first one you come to. You can actually get to that one a little bit before MGM Grand.
I've never been in that.
$5 blackjack and craps, probably.
There's a Denny's over there.
On the way?
On the way, yeah. Right before you get to Oyo. Maybe we should give Adam the Vegas questionnaire. We should have given Adam the Vegas questionnaire before we chose his hotel, because some of his answers may change.
Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah, may change our decision here. Probably not, FYI, but...
No, it won't. But let's give him the questionnaire anyway.
Let's do it.
Let's do
Is
it.
this multiple choice or what is
No.
this?
It's essay.
Very open-ended, but yeah, 2 to 3 page essays.
Not Mexican. We'll have to cut that
I'm
out.
in real trouble.
Right, yeah. With a fairly large Latino listening base.
No, we don't. That's the problem.
Maybe this is why.
Yes. All new guests, if they've been to Vegas, because we didn't make Julie do it because she's never been to Vegas.
How many questions?
About
50.
12-ish, 13. Well, I think you did this one a little bit. Tell us about your very first Vegas experience.
Well, I don't think I told you about my first one. My first one was, that I can remember, was pretty boring. It was another work conference. I wasn't much of a gambler of any sort until Mike corrupted me with, blackjack. We played a little blackjack, mostly craps. Get me started on that.
I don't think I ever corrupted you on blackjack.
I think corrupted's pretty accurate. Not blackjack, craps.
Don't pin blackjack on me.
What was that one we played? Was that Jeff's fault? We played
3-card poker.
Oh yeah, it was 3-card poker. It was just a conference, and so I don't think I didn't play many. I think I tried roulette and just lost my ass because I had no idea what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Drank pretty heavily because the drinks were free.
Where'd you stay?
I had a big stack of those cards. Caesars that time.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of those cards anymore. Occasionally you do, but not very often.
I had a big old stack of them. I know that because I stuck in my suitcase and I shouldn't have, and maybe my.
What are these cards? I don't know what the cards are.
The guys flicking the cards with the
hustlers that
yeah. Okay.
Various degrees of clothing on them.
Sure,
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I had a big collection of that. But it wasn't too eventful, really. I think that's the trip I went on top of it's the Stratosphere. It's got the rides on the top, right? And I did all of those.
Everybody has to do the Stratosphere on their first trip.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible. If you're afraid of heights, I could see where it would get a little sketchy, but I'm not. So I had a good time. I liked it.
Except now they have stupid tiny hours where they're open. We took the girls a couple years ago. I think we showed up at 3 or 4. They weren't open till like 6 or 7.
Did you do all the rides, Mike, up there?
No. I just did the big shot, I think it is, the one right on top.
Shoot you straight up, yeah.
But I did it at night. It was pretty fucking scary, really.
Wow. Yeah. So I did that one, and then they have like the swings that they like kind of crank you out over. They put you on and then they crank you out over, so like the parking lot's below you.
Used to have that.
It's not there anymore.
It's there.
That was pretty fun.
It's there, but they don't use it, or you can't ride it anymore.
Unsafe to ride. Probably was that way when I was on it.
Could be. Maybe somebody died.
Yeah, probably. And then they had they still have the one where it's like a short roller coaster where it like launches you off the edge.
Yep.
And it stops, and then when you think it's done, and then the thing drops like 5 feet, and you crap your pants.
Yep.
Yeah, that one was good. I don't remember if there's anything else on there.
They used to have like an actual roller coaster, didn't they, Jay? Pretty sure they tore that out though.
It seems like it. Like it went all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's right. Don't quote me on that, but I remember that.
The that chair one, I don't think ever came back after COVID. Maybe I don't know why that one shut down. I don't think anybody knows why.
It's hard to get new rides up there.
Oh well, then they have the one where you just jump off it,
Like a bungee thing, or
like it's not a bungee, but it's a wire thing that slows you down. You free fall and then it slows you down at the bottom.
a wire seems like it's going to slow you down in a hurry.
Like too fast, yeah.
Like too fast, yeah. I'm thinking that too.
I don't think I'm explaining it properly.
Jeff could probably explain it better.
Probably.
All right, I won't put that on my list of things to do this trip then.
Well, I tried to get you to do it several trips ago. I just wanted to watch somebody do it. I didn't want to do it.
See somebody dislocate their spine somehow, yeah.
The only 2 thrill rides that the Strat's website has listed is the Big Shot and the roller coaster that hangs you over the edge.
But you can also do the jump thing, sky jump or whatever they call it.
It's not listed.
I don't know, that sounds very
Not
fun.
listed on the website.
That's not listed either?
Nope.
Somebody probably died.
It's possible. They say that shit like that happens on the strip is really good at getting covered up. Like there's a lot of suicides and stuff that you never hear about.
I can believe that.
Yeah, you don't want that on the news.
Right. That's your essay for that one.
Yeah, I think so.
What is your gambling game of choice and why?
Gambling game, it's probably craps, just because that's kind of what you got me started on. And I found it to be a lot more fun than I thought I would. Because, when I was a newbie, and I'm still a newbie, but when I first walked up to the table, it's pretty intimidating, kind of like a roulette wheel is. I mean, just the kind of the team play aspect of it, I really like.
Yep.
I mean, you kind of, most of the time you win together and you lose together. So get a good shooter, and it's a lot of fun. Really a lot of fun.
I'll send you a copy of the 5 Big Ways to Win Big manual, which is a beginner's guide to craps. Less intimidating.
Written by you and Mike?
Mostly me and ChatGTP.
Oh. It's got to be good.
But then we did go over it in one of the podcasts.
Yeah. I believe we were going to post it, and then I never sent it to you to post.
Right. Like so many things you never sent to me.
Sounds like a missed opportunity.
We'll get it out there for our fan base.
All right, back to our list. Do you play video poker?
Not really. I've watched you play. Does that count?
No.
I don't know. I'm one of those ADHD type of thing. I like the flashy light things. If I'm going to play video anything, I want something with like a lot of lights and action to it. Like Money Grandma. I don't remember what that was
You're
called.
a big slots guy. Crazy Money Deluxe. That's what it's actually called.
Is it? Well, it's got George Washington on there. He looks like a money grandma, so that's what I've been calling it. I had a good time on that thing.
You know why it has George Washington on there?
It took all my money.
Because he is actually on money.
I know. So his money grandma. I don't know. It's just, it's loud. I don't know, it's bright.
You had me playing that for
I
a
did.
while, but I haven't played it in a long time. I've gotten back to Dragon Link, thank God.
Is that the one where it has dollar bills and sometimes they're
Mhm.
slanted? Yeah, I've seen that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. I was having a lot of good luck on that thing.
So I guess we'll put that down as your poker game of choice. Crazy Money Deluxe.
Yeah, does that count? It seems like a stretch, but okay. I just haven't gotten into the video poker now.
Tell us about your biggest gambling win and biggest gambling loss.
I'm pretty conservative. I don't think I ever won more than a couple $100, maybe 300. I think that was on a slot machine. I think the most lost would probably be the craps in one shot. I don't think it was 150 in one shot once.
What about Trip?
I don't know if you were there, actually.
I wasn't there?
I don't think you were there.
No,
that time.
because I'm too good a luck.
Since when?
What?
That seems like something new. I don't remember winning a lot with you around, but maybe that's
What?
changed over the years.
We've had several good winning sessions.
We have. But to be fair, we've had a lot of bad ones too that I've been a part of.
Shh.
Oh, yeah. Editor, cut that one out, please. It's all been good. Can't thank Mike enough for the inspiration and luck he's brought me.
Stop, you're gushing.
Making you blush a little bit on that side of the camera. No, I'm just not a big better. I'd rather kind of draw it out. I'm not a penny slot type of person, but it gets over $50, $100. I'm thinking that's about enough.
How about for a trip? Worst trip loss?
Overall trip? Probably 1,000, roughly $1,200.
That's solid.
Respectable number, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those. I mean, at least I spread the losses around. I didn't stick at one thing. So,
What's your favorite strip property and why?
as far as the inside, I think I really like the Caesar's Palace. As far as it's pretty massive, I guess, but I like the inside. I like the Bellagio too. It's pretty nice inside. Just more things to look at. You can wander around a little bit if you don't want to gamble. There's interesting things to see. Those would be my two. Probably Caesar's first off, and maybe because I'm more familiar with that one because I've stayed there.
Geoff hates Caesars.
Geoff, I was just starting to have a better opinion. That's fine. Just gonna knock him back down a peg. That's fine.
I believe he said it was because it was too big, didn't he, Jay?
That is correct, yeah. That's correct. My
That's what she said.
my answer,
Yeah.
exactly. My answer was also Caesar's. It's got everything you need. It's beautiful property.
Yeah, it's like a small city. I mean, you can find about everything you want, kind of all in
Yeah,
one little
great
area.
sports book.
Bellagio's cool. Geoff does like Bellagio too.
Yeah,
Something classic about Bellagio.
yeah.
I was really hoping to like the Wynn, but I didn't really like it when we stayed there that one time. I mean, it was nice inside, but just, I don't know.
The rooms were nice.
The rooms were nice. Casino, kind of blah, I thought.
It was probably not our scene.
Am I too old for that one too? Maybe
No,
that's the problem.
well, probably, but it's for people that gamble bigger amounts than us, I would say.
Yeah, I could see that. There were a lot of really nice cars in that parking lot.
That was also where we tried to play craps and ended up playing by ourselves, and so it was kind of a miserable experience. The dealers were kind of, I don't know if they were assholes, but it was just kind of awkward because they weren't really paying attention to us.
Yeah.
No,
It's just weird.
Mike and all his luck, it didn't.
The whole thing was weird.
It was kind of weird.
Least favorite strip property and why?
By the Wynn. I don't know if my expectation was too high, kind of reading about it, but it just, I don't know, totally fell flat for me, I guess. But maybe it's like you're saying, it's just not our scene, you know?
I don't know if I could give it least though.
Well, as far as ones I've been to, I guess. I set the bar too high for myself. I think it's kind of like going to a movie that you have really high expectations for, and then it sucks, and you're like, just totally ruins it for you.
What was yours, Jay?
I believe I said Excalibur, if I remember right.
Oh yeah, that's a terrible one.
Yeah, just
terrible pick for you. Excalibur's classic.
it's classic. I get it, and it's themed. I get it. It's just so scuzzy, and it didn't used to be.
That's part of its charm.
Yeah.
Boy, not for me. And that's the first place I ever stayed in Vegas was Excalibur. It's almost cartoonish anymore, and maybe that's just mentally for me, but just even the theming of it is just, it's cartoonish.
Well, they used to have Schlotsky's, but if that's not the case anymore, I might switch my vote, because those nights in the basement can only do so much to save it.
True.
That's another thing. Tournament of Kings is an underrated show,
I like it.
and it's cheap.
It's cheap. Kids liked it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I don't think our night ever wins. I don't know how that ever works, but we've been there a couple times.
We don't go enough. We're gonna go.
Maybe that's the
we're gonna
problem.
go until our night wins. Damn it!
Okay. Bastard. I don't know. There's something similar. What's the thing that, I mean, not at Excalibur. There's like another
Medieval
it's not Tournament
Times.
of Kings. Yeah, Medieval Times. Yeah.
What is your? Ooh, this could be good because I don't think we've ever talked about this. I think I know what your answer would be here. What is your favorite non-gambling thing to do in Vegas or the surrounding area?
Do you want to say your guess? Because it's probably right.
Drive supercars on a racetrack.
Yeah, that exotic racing experience is freaking awesome. Awesome. A little pricey, but I'm a car guy, so, getting to jump in and just beat the snot out of a Lamborghini or a car you're never going to be able to afford is pretty awesome. I think your cousin liked it too. I don't know how much your brother liked it, but
I think he liked it.
yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. Exotic racing.
Did you do the ride along with us too on the racetrack and the Indy cars?
Yes. Yeah, trying to watch you fold yourself into one of those little cars was kind of funny.
That was kind of terrifying. It's a little claustrophobic.
I didn't think you were going to fit because you're so tall.
That was as far as I haven't actually driven the cars, but I've done that. That was fun. Didn't Caitlyn Jenner beat your time or something on the racetrack?
I think that bastard did, actually. There's a lot of celebrities on there that
he or she wasn't actually there. Yeah, they just have a list of celebrity times. You weren't actually racing against him.
Gotcha.
Just telling Jay.
Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah, yep. But it still hurts to lose to Caitlyn Jenner.
But it used to be Bruce Jenner, and he was an Olympian.
It was an Olympian, exactly.
Not in exotic cars.
That's a fair point.
Fair.
If we're going to have a foot race, then yeah, okay, I get losing to him. But
Fair.
I don't think you guys are apples to apples here at all.
Would you race him if he was there in a foot race?
No, hell no, I wouldn't. I know what he's done in foot racing. I'd definitely race him if he was there in a car.
What if she's in heels?
He'd probably still beat me if I'm being honest with myself.
Probably, yeah.
If we're in the same machine, then it takes, the physical ability out of it.
Was that his event? Was track?
I thought he's a decathlon. Isn't it multiple things?
Oh, okay. But running is one of them.
I think so. Even if it's not, if you're a decathlon, you're probably in pretty good shape. Middle-aged guy that's too old for Cosmo is not going to be able to keep up. Just gonna be honest with myself. And thank you for crushing my ego. Appreciate that.
He or she's got to be like 70 though, doesn't? How?
You know, dude, I don't know if it matters. I'll let you race he or she first, and depending how close you get, then maybe I'll try it.
74 years old is the correct
74,
answer.
74 and in heels. You don't think you could
I
be?
probably could.
I feel like I could. No, I probably couldn't either.
I mean, if we're on, yeah.
74 and in heels. Nobody can run in heels though.
I don't know. I've never tried. Have you?
Never tried.
Maybe Geoff has.
We'll have to ask him. So much for letting him defend himself.
Yeah, this is taking an ugly turn.
If you could change one thing about Vegas, what would it be and why?
You guys answered all these before?
Yeah.
So, yep.
I don't know. Since I enjoy it more now than I used to, it'd be nice if it was closer.
Oh, good answer.
That is a good answer that nobody ever thought of.
Going geographic on us.
Not just a pretty face. Yeah. I mean, I like the variety of it, I guess. I don't know if I'd change anything about it. There's so much variety there. If you can't find something you like there,
Oh, there's plenty to change about it. Resort fees,
I like paying resort fees. How do you guys feel about paying those?
lack of theming on all the new resorts.
Maybe that's just something that you guys that go more often notice those things more, I would think.
A high cost of strippers and hookers.
I haven't checked into that, but I'll take your word for it. I believe you.
The theft at White Castle. High crime rate at White Castle.
Yeah.
Geez, I wouldn't know why. No, I don't know anything specific I would change necessarily. It would be nice if it was closer. It didn't take so long to get there.
I like that answer. I like it a lot.
The allure of the gambling part of it is kind of going away because of, well, there's a casino in your town now.
Yeah, like
You could go play craps right now.
I could walk there in probably 15 minutes.
So I think that part of Vegas is going to be less enticing for some people.
I think it's a dangerous point for Vegas overall because they're already pricing themselves out of many things.
Because you know what you can do at Jeff's casino and Adam's casino? Play $5 craps.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Is there even any $5 craps in Vegas left anymore?
Occasionally downtown.
15, I thought. It's kind of the lowest I've seen. Maybe 10 once in a while.
We played 10 downtown that last trip. It's supposed to be 5. They advertised 5, but it was 10 when we played it. Oyo advertises $5 craps, and so does Ellis Island.
I've caught it at Ellis Island for sure. Certain times of day, like 2 to 2:30 on a Tuesday or something, But it's there. I'm an Ellis Island fan, though.
We went there once or twice to eat, I know for sure. I think we played a little bit, but not a lot.
We did actually do strip walking to Ellis Island. On the way back, little Easter egg. Did I already discuss this? I think I already discussed it.
Yeah, but it's good enough to bring up again.
If you watch closely on the way back, there's a bum just shitting or pissing or something right there on the sidewalk.
Oh, Vegas charm. Yeah. I watched some dude, he was sitting, where we at? I don't know if we're at the fountains at Bellagio. But I mean, he's just like, smoking dope or something. And or not dope, but like harder stuff, whatever. I mean, he looked, like his teeth were all falling out. And he like put his head under his shirt, and then he'd come back up and all this like smoke's like all piling out. I mean, yeah, nobody knows what you're doing.
Who was the biggest celebrity you've run into Vegas, and how did it happen?
Gosh, have I ever ran into a celebrity? I don't know that I have in Vegas.
Or met. We met Teller, didn't we? Or was it Penn? No, we met Penn.
Like who's the tall one?
Penn.
Yeah, I think we met Penn. Oh, does that count? Is he really a celebrity? Oh, I like his stuff.
How about Chum Lee? Didn't we meet Chum Lee?
I didn't.
Oh, I did.
We went there. I mean,
he was doing a picture-taking autograph thing at his candy store.
Yeah, I don't think I saw him. I remember going there. Was that same time we all went to his little whatever diner or whatever it was?
I've had to go so many goddamn times because my wife thinks it's cool to go there, even though they didn't even shoot the fucking show there.
A little sketchy kind of walking over there.
That too. Yeah.
At least we did it in the daytime. I don't know. Nighttime, that would have been
I wouldn't do that again. I would take an Uber.
Yeah, then we got Uber to hiking a shot too.
Or Geoff Uber. A Juber.
I guess it was neat to see. I used to watch the show. I haven't for a long time. It was neat to see it, I guess, in the daytime.
But it's not the one from the show.
No, they've got that other set up in the back in that other building kind of.
There's a building behind it. It's a complete set, and all the stuff that comes in is done ahead of time, set up ahead of time.
I believe that.
Takes all the magic out of it.
It really does. I like the show better when I didn't know that. Let my imagination think it's real.
I've started watching this YouTube. I can't remember the name of the guy's channel. Basically the same thing, only it's real. Just some guy that takes a security video and posts it on YouTube of him. It's a pawn shop, and the stuff is much less exciting.
I'm sure.
It's a lot of people trying to scam him out of jewelry and bringing in shit. And
you got to know your stuff. I mean,
yeah,
I realize the guys are kind of actors, but I mean, they know their stuff. It seems like
he does too. This guy does too.
I'd like to step back briefly before you move on to what a Geoff Uber would be called. I think since it's,
you heard what I said.
Since it's Geoff with a G, it'd have to be Goober.
Okay, that's probably better because what I said could be construed as
correct. Again,
I didn't mean it that way, but
no,
I could see how somebody could.
Correct.
I could, yeah.
Goober is the correct term for many
We'll
reasons.
go with Goober. Yes, I like that.
It's a family show, right? So yeah.
Not really.
The editor can edit that out.
It's too much work. What is your very best Vegas story?
I have a lot of exciting stories there. It's been pretty laid back, I guess.
Jumping off at the Wynn to piss is kind of a good story.
Oh, I remember. It wasn't that great. Funny enough, though, since you brought that up, I think that dude that was pissing with me, I think his name was Geoff.
Did you ask how he spells it?
I didn't. I should have. It's kind of a dark alley, so it was more of those get it done and get out of there kind of things.
Wait, I did.
Why did I even ask his name?
Wait, you
I'm
pissed?
not sure how that happened.
I didn't. What? You pissed in the alley?
Yeah, it was kind of an alley. It was in kind of a.
I thought you went into the casino to piss.
No, I couldn't make it.
See, this story is getting better.
See, if I had my adult diapers on, it wouldn't have been such a crisis, but it was a crisis. When it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So I had to call an audible and had to ditch down one of these side alleys with a nice guy named Geoff who had the same idea.
Did he jump off the bus too?
I don't think so. I think he was already there.
Well, thank God it was a nice guy and not some murderer.
I know. It could have turned out differently.
It's a pretty decent Vegas story.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, that's probably the best one I got, which is kind of sad. No, like
try to do better.
Super winning streak. I had no super winning streak like you getting the hand job or whatever and things like that. So yours is much
hand pay.
Oh, that's right. It's a family show.
You got to make that distinction.
Never argue with a hand pay or a hand job for that matter.
You'll have to listen sometime to the podcast where Jay talks about his hand pay.
It was in Kansas City, not Vegas, but still counts.
How much was that one? Was it bigger than Mike's?
Oh, how much was that one?
It's not about the size.
Like a hand job, it's not about the size. It's about the fact that it happened.
Except he doesn't remember it.
Way too intoxicated.
Did it really happen then?
I believe it did. In my mind, it did.
And that's all that matters.
Maybe I got a hand pay that I don't remember too.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a millionaire.
Let's move on. How about we switch topics a little bit? Airline horror stories.
I have one I experienced personally and one my wife and children have experienced. I think Adam has one or two. Do you have any, Jay?
I feel like mine's going to be kind of lame, but
well, let's start with yours then.
Okay, yeah, can't know where to go but up, right?
Did you get a bag of snacks that wasn't quite full?
Are they ever full?
Full of air.
No, so we live in a pretty small town, pretty small airport, so not a lot of flights in and out of our town, but sometimes the only one they have is to Denver. So we can get to about anywhere from our airport via Denver. Coming back, though, is tough. The planes that fly into here back then, they're a little bigger now because they redid some of the runways. But back then they were like 9-seaters or 13-seaters. They were super small planes. I don't think they were prop planes, but they were damn close to prop planes.
I think they might have been prop.
They might have actually been. They were loud enough that they probably were. But Anyway, coming back, had been away for work for a week or so, coming back via Denver, of course, trying to get on this little bitty plane. And for some reason, they were overbooked, which never happens. Usually there's like 4 people on them. But they were overbooked, bumped me, had to stay all night in Denver, which, pretty lame as far as a horror story goes. But the worst part of it, and what sticks with me in my mind, is I remember the gate agent at that gate. She was smoking hot, and she never announced that we were bumped or that the plane had left. And it was me and another guy sitting there. There's not a lot of people trying to get on this plane, 13 plus 2 or whatever it was. And he and I were sitting there. We didn't know each other. And we kept looking at each other like, are we getting on this plane? And it like a half hour, 45 minutes went by. And we're like, we're not getting on this plane. So we finally go up there and ask. And she's like, oh, yeah, that plane left like a half hour ago. Let me get you on another flight. We're like, what the heck? You never said that. You never announced that. We sat there for 45 fucking minutes. And she's like, oh, yeah, I announced it. She didn't, but she was super hot, so I let it slide. But yeah, had to stay a night in Denver. It wasn't a weather thing or anything. They just bumped us. So we got a little credit and hotel room on them and stuff. But
you didn't see the other people getting on the plane?
oh, yeah, they did. You
didn't see the plane push back?
Well, I don't know if you ever flew any of those little ones, Mike, but it was one where you like,
not the prop ones, but I've been on the little jets that they do now.
But you like walk down in the dungeon of the Denver airport and out onto the runway.
I'm familiar with it.
So you don't really see the plane push back.
You're right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But they still go out a gate though.
Yeah, correct. That's true. So that's pretty lame as far as a horror story goes. I hope yours are better.
Spending a night in Denver is not all that fun sometimes. So
at an airport hotel in Denver, yeah, you got that right.
Did you stay at the hotel in the airport?
No, they bussed us somewhere not too far away.
So that's a plus, as Adam and I can attest to with one of our stories.
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
Should we start with that one?
Go ahead, start us off. That was the scariest one I've ever been on. Yeah.
I wasn't really scared as much as I was nauseated.
That's it. The scariest one out of all the ones I've done.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
I'm setting the scene. December of, it was probably 21, 22, something like that. It was you, me, Geoff, and my brother coming back from Vegas. And for some reason, there is the largest system of thunderstorms probably ever in December, spanning from like Kansas City up into South Dakota and all through Omaha and, just that whole area. Just massive.
It was insane. Yep.
Thunderstorms and wind.
Emphasis on wind. Yes.
Okay.
But I think the big problem was the thunderstorms, because that's where you get the wind shear and the up and down shit. Like straight line wind is bad, but it's not as bad for a plane as the up and down.
If they can fly into it directly or something, it's probably not a big deal.
And it was a pretty big plane too. I mean,
yeah, I think it was a 700 series, not an 800.
I don't know what that means, but yeah, it was a big plane.
It was a big plane. Real big plane, Adam.
I don't know. I go by like the size of how many seats are on each side.
Had like
I think
2 engines and stuff.
Yeah, it was great. It had 2 wings too. It's awesome.
Anyway.
Get distracted, Mike. Come on, tell a story.
This is how stories go. It's just what happens. By the time we got to Omaha, it was pretty dark, if I remember right, wasn't it? You couldn't really see outside?
It was, and I don't know if we use the term, we were like racing the storm back to the airport, because we were. You remember that? Because we saw that wall cloud on the side.
I have never thrown up on a plane. I am proud of that record. Still has never happened.
Same.
That was as close as I've ever come. So we at least started an approach, and I have no idea how close, because we couldn't see out or I think we might have had the shades down at that point too, but I'm pretty sure it was dark.
Probably.
I can throw a little in on that because I had my shade up.
Oh, you did?
I did.
How close before you did a go around? Like, were we 100 feet, 5,000 feet?
I just told you it was a big plane and you didn't like that answer. So I don't know if my estimation of the distance is going to be to your satisfaction. But anyway, I'd guess 100 feet, 150 feet. You know, I could see the
So
lights.
close
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
Close enough.
See, I didn't know that. That's interesting to me. So he made an honest to God attempt to land.
He made a try at it. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know. I figured maybe he just went down to like 3,000 feet and said, no, this ain't going to work.
No, we were pretty darn close. And it was one of those where I'm looking out the side window and I can see down the runway, but our nose is pointed like at 2 o'clock.
Crabbing. Yeah.
Yeah, scared the crap out of me. And coming in sideways. And so, yeah, my butthole was puckered tight.
We made 2 attempts, if I remember right.
I only remember one.
We only did one?
I think so, because wasn't it when we came down and well, you didn't know we were getting close, but getting kind of close. And then we just dropped like 20 feet or 30 feet.
That's the wind shear, yeah.
Yeah. But then I thought, did he jam on the gas like right after that? And I thought,
That's probably when he bailed, is when we dropped, yeah. Because that's what crashes planes, is the wind shear and those drops.
big drops. So we're not talking like little turbulence. It's like you're coming out of your seat. You better have your seatbelt on. I'd never been through anything like that before.
If I had the window open, maybe I would have been a little more scared. I was just trying not to throw up, though.
That was only part of it. After this, right, we were racing another storm.
We went and tried to land once or twice. So then we go down to Tulsa, which is the closest.
That's like 2 states away.
Exactly. Kansas City had the same thunderstorms. That's this system of thunderstorms is just huge. So we go down and we land in Tulsa, but it is just as rough getting into Tulsa. A lot of up and down, bouncy.
You know, cell phones bouncing around the cabin. You can hear them flopping around. I don't know how many people were throwing up, but it was a lot. There was a guy behind me that had been throwing up for about 30 minutes straight. I'll bet his sides were killing him.
We taxi to a gate. We don't deplane. They sit there for a little bit and try to figure out if they're going to try and make another attempt. They do decide to make another attempt. So we take back off.
What?
Yes.
Never getting off the plane.
No, we had to fly west first, right? Didn't we? Because we were trying to go back and around it and come back
I don't remember.
from behind or whatever. But it was almost dark by then, wasn't it?
I was thinking it was dark when we were first trying to get in there. But actually, at that point, I was just wanting to get home. So if they thought we could get in, then I was like,
Sure.
fuck yeah. I figured we were going to get in. But we went back there, same thing, bouncy approach and go around. And then we're back to Tulsa again.
Are you serious?
I was there to witness it. So yeah, it sucked.
So you were on that plane for like 6 hours, probably.
It seemed like a long time.
I bet it seemed like a day and a half.
I think they had told us by the time we were getting off, though, that we were going to have to stay the night, right?
Yep.
They didn't make any arrangements for us.
Sure.
I think you got on and booked the same hotel as we did.
Yes. Yes, I did, as a matter of fact.
I happened my wife had diamond status with Hilton at the time, which is funny because we always laugh about it.
Handy.
It was.
So diamond status with Hilton is a something about guaranteed booking or room or something. We both show up, try to check in. Adams and my brother are first, and they say we oversold it or something. We don't have a room for you.
Yep. Exactly what they said, pretty much. Yeah.
But Mr. Diamond behind, they have a room.
Here we go.
That's awesome.
Because everybody in that plane is trying to find a room, which I get.
Sure.
So really his wife kind of saved us, not necessarily him.
Well, it's not like she did anything to get that diamond status. It's all me.
But she had it. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
So the four of us spent a night in a 2-queen small hotel room.
Better than nothing.
Better than being on that plane. Yeah.
Yeah. My brother refused to sleep in the same bed as Adam. So Adam got his own bed. Geoff wasn't so shy.
Worked out for Adam.
Yeah, we didn't have to work out big spoon, little spoon. It was great.
And now Geoff will tell everybody, especially when he's drunk at Fight Club and other places, that We have shared a bed,
Right. Which needs some context. Yeah.
but he never gives the context.
No. I would say that sounds horrible. I'm sorry that happened to you. I would say the worst part of it, though, would be having to hear you, Mike, rub it in that you're diamond status the entire night and the next morning.
How did you know? How did you know he did that? He absolutely did that.
I don't think
I was over it. It was a long day, so
I made one crack about it at all.
well, you wouldn't remember that probably. There were a few.
The only really thing I remember about that hotel, other than having to sleep with Geoff, it was getting remodeled, and there was just construction
Yeah,
everywhere.
yes, it was. It was close, but I mean, yeah, it wouldn't have been a first choice.
The good thing, points for Southwest, I don't think I've ever heard of this before, but it is kind of a special situation. They don't fly between Omaha and Tulsa
No,
normally.
not a common route.
So they just, out of special direct flight, they automatically added all of us to the flight. We had our same boarding numbers and everything. Our A number, it was the exact same number from the previous boarding. And it was scheduled right at like 8 a.m. the next morning.
That's pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
If you think about it, I mean, they got to find pilots, flight attendants, book the flight plan.
They're probably stranded there too.
Good point. They weren't supposed to be there.
So really, they needed that plane and all the crew and everything in Omaha, just like we needed to be in Omaha
to get their butts back on schedule too. Yeah,
but it was super convenient. We didn't have to like rebook and go through wherever to get back to Omaha. It was just a direct flight. Mm-hmm. The next morning, it was, thank God, very smooth flight back.
Thank God. Yeah.
That is crazy. To go there, Tulsa. Oh my God.
And the amount of vomit they took off that plane had to have been one for the books, because there were a lot of people heaving at least throughout the entire cabin. So
it's the only night I've ever spent in Oklahoma. Only night I ever want to spend in Oklahoma.
It could have been worse. I don't remember, what do we do for food even? Do we order something? I don't even remember what we did.
We had pizza delivered. I think we ate it out in the lobby.
That was a long day.
It was Pizza Hut.
Tulsa's not necessarily a vivid culinary scene, so good call there.
Yeah, I won't soon forget that one at all.
But was that worse than your Hawaii one?
No, my Hawaii one's kind of repressed. I don't know if I even remember the whole thing. As far as, danger and fear of death, yeah, definitely. Oh, man, you're going to make me talk about it? I don't want to talk about it. It was bad.
You want me to say what I remember, and then you can fill in the blanks?
Okay, fine. You're like a therapist. I'll try to start, I guess, and you can fill in the blanks. But
I even know dates on this one because this was right before COVID. It was December 2019.
Yeah, I was going to say 2019, so that's like 5 years ago. But yeah, right before COVID started to be a thing.
And then we went to Vegas in March, but that's not important to the story.
No, not this story. But because I went with you on that, right? Because we got
that was the Wynn.
Like the week before they started shutting stuff down.
That was when we stayed at the Wynn.
Yep, and I was at Treasure Island.
Yeah, Jay was there. That's right.
Oh, the same time? Oh, I didn't know that. Huh, interesting. Oh man, where do I start? I suppose I start from the beginning.
Well, the important thing is, and maybe you could pin it a little bit on me, but not really.
Oh, I'm sure I can.
Because I think I told you to do it separate days. So you booked Southwest to LA and then a different airline from LA to Hawaii.
Yes. And that,
which I did too, but the times I have done it, maybe once I did do it the same day. Usually I make it the next day as the other flight, because if you have an issue with the first flight, that can be really bad if they're close together, as you found out, obviously.
My biggest lesson learned was exactly what you started with, is having two separate airlines was a worst idea ever. I mean,
well, yes.
But why is that? Because you have to transfer your own luggage and stuff like that?
Well, that can be, but really what killed them here is the second airline doesn't give a fuck if they get there on time or not.
That's right.
If both flights are in the same airline booked together as one booking, then if you miss your flight, then it's still their fault and they're going to get you there somehow on another flight. Also, if you're on the same airline, they're kind of aware, if a bunch of people are going to be late, they can delay the flight and stuff. If the plane's late and they got a bunch of people coming in on that plane. This way, you're just kind of fucked. If you're
at some level, they wouldn't even know, right? They wouldn't even know you're on the other flight.
They don't know.
No.
at all. That's kind of what I was saying. Usually when I do that, I will, and I've only really done it going to Hawaii. Like I'll fly to LA, spend the night at a hotel by the airport, and then fly out the next day on the other airline. So unless I get delayed a day and a half or something, I should be all right.
Yeah. That was a big lesson learned.
The other thing is that first flight, I always want it to be a direct flight. But your flight, I believe, was the Southwest flight to get to LA actually went through Chicago,
It did. Well, it was supposed to.
which is a lot of going the wrong direction.
Yeah. Admittedly, yes.
And that's also what fucked you because it was the weather in Chicago that canceled your flight, wasn't it?
That's right. So before we get too far into that, let me tell you how the whole thing like started before I even got to that mess. This whole thing started rushing to get there with 2 kids. And as soon as I get to the check-in counter, we had pre-check. I get up to the counter. My son throws up all over the floor. All over the floor. And not just regular vomit for everybody to see. He had a fever. And so my wife kind of doped him up with something that was blue. And so it was blue vomit all over the floor in front of everybody to see, especially like the check-in guy. So I don't know, weren't they kind of sensitive about sick people on flights and stuff like that? So we're worried about having a fever.
Not yet. A couple more months. Just give it a few more months.
The combination of like shock and horror on my face when it happened. I wasn't sure how to be angry because I knew why it happened, or maybe more angry because I didn't know if we were going to make the flight, or just, I wasn't even embarrassed. And I think the guy saw this combination of emotions. And so he's like, don't worry about that. We got some paper towels and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get us checked in before all the other nonsense happened with a sick kid. So that just totally set the stage at like, I don't know, 6 a.m. or something like that. Ridiculous. So
we had flown to Phoenix the night before and kind of hung out in Phoenix and did some stuff. And then we were getting ready to fly to Hawaii from Phoenix and getting various updates on your terrible situation. What killed you was it fog or wind or something in Chicago?
it was fog. Yeah, that was the story.
It's just fog in Chicago.
Yes. Can't they fly and land freaking planes automatically with the autopilot and stuff?
They can, but they have to see it at a certain point, like at 50 feet or 100 feet or something like that. They have to be able to see the runway.
For your safety.
Yes. You just got done telling us how scared you were on the last flight.
True, but that hadn't happened yet. So I didn't know what I didn't know at that point. But I think, so like your mother and your brother, though, they flew out together also from Omaha, but they think they went south right away, right? They went to Texas.
I think that's right. They went through Dallas
Yeah.
on a different airline than all of us.
So before we knew, the flight to Chicago wasn't going to happen. And so before they told us it wasn't going to happen, it was delayed. I don't know, 30 minutes here and then 30 minutes again. Each time we're like, well, how are we going to make the next flight? We had to get to LA by a certain time because that was a different flight.
Here's where it becomes a problem, right?
Sure.
Naturally, when they finally decide to cancel it, you got everybody and their freaking monkey running up to the counter to try to get a different flight because everybody else was trying to find different ones too. By the time we got up there, they didn't have any flights that we could get on anywhere. They were checking other airlines and things to get us over to LA. Wasn't happening.
But you needed to be by a certain time in LA that day.
I did.
It's not like you had a day to play with or you could go the next morning. You had to be there because of the flight.
I had to be there. And we're not just talking like one ticket. This is 4 tickets I was going to lose out on for that long flight, which was pretty expensive.
4 very expensive tickets, right?
Exactly.
So what was the new plan?
The other kink in this too, then, we didn't have time by that point to have a stop somewhere. We had to have a direct flight by that point to make it to LA. The solution was, hey, we've got a direct flight from Kansas City that'll get you there in time. The problem is you've got 3 hours to go get your bag again, get your kids and your wife back in your car, drive down.
3-hour drive.
That's a 3-hour drive. Recheck in, go through, security and all that, get to our gate and get on that plane before that said plane takes off. Okay, what choice do we have? Bam, we grab our stuff and it's, 80, 90 mile an hour down I-29. Luckily, if we would have gotten pulled over, that would have probably killed it by then. Because once I get to the last part of the story, timeline here was tight. I think we started with a 5-hour layover originally. So we get to Kansas City, right? And then we're thinking, oh crap. So we got all these extra bags. We got to roll through security and get through that. So we consolidate everything down. I don't ever have a check-in bag. I'm always just a carry-on. Kids had check-in bags, small ones. And then my wife had a wife-size bag, which is pretty massive. So at least we consolidated the kids down to my wife's big bag. She had to take out 4 or 5 pairs of shoes type of thing, which whatever. She made it work, which is great. An airport I've never been to before. And so we're getting in there, trying to hustle, get up to the thing, get it checked in.
This is old Kansas City, not new Kansas City too.
That's right. And so part of it was trying to find a parking spot first, right? Because you got no time, trying to find a spot. I'll take anything kind of thing. We make it with that one. I think we had just enough time to go to the bathroom, get the kids in the bathroom. I don't think my son threw up again. Maybe he did. I don't remember at that point, but got there with, 10 minutes to spare. Everybody's already boarded on this plane. And so we get there just in time.
This is without checking a bag, right?
We had one bag to wait.
No, you didn't. I don't think you checked a bag.
No, I don't think we did. I think you're right. I think we piled everything into.
If you would have tried to check a bag, you wouldn't have made it.
That's right. That is right. Yeah. And so that's right. So we skipped that, which saved us. Otherwise we wouldn't have made that flight to begin with.
This is out of Kansas City. Still not done hustling.
Holy crap. No,
you're
not even to where you need to be yet.
Was that one delayed too?
Yes. Because our layover would have been like an hour. So keep in mind, I didn't know this either until the time. So we went from Southwest, I think, to United. And so when you land at LAX on Southwest,
different terminal.
It's the opposite end of the airport. That's what's considered international. So we had to go through another checkpoint also before we could get on.
And just a huge airport.
2 young kids.
Never been there.
1 sick, never been there before. And so as it turns out, so the flight leaving Kansas City was delayed. And I don't remember why. I don't know if it was the previous flight was late or whatever. I think we got down to, once the time we took off, we had 35 minutes to get clear across the airport with 2 kids, a grumpy wife. I wasn't very in a good mood either. You had to get on a shuttle.
I don't think you have to, but you probably aren't making it unless you get on the shuttle. I think you could walk it.
Yeah, so I'm trying to Google things in between to see what the map of it looks like. What are my odds of making it with 2 kids if we ran it? We'd be those people. But so we had 45 minutes. So now I got to catch my thoughts back up here. So we land, and I think he told us by then that we were getting even later anyway. So I thought it got almost pushed like 30 minutes. And so at this point, I'm thinking, I don't know if there's any way we're going to make it. So we land with 30 minutes to go. We get off the plane, get the kids. We're like hustling down and trying to get on a tram or a shuttle thing to go between the concourses. Cause it was a run for sure. I don't know. Probably not a mile, but more than I was willing to do, dragging a couple of kids behind me. So we get on, and I told the guy, he said something, I was not in the mood. Something about, it looks like you've had a day. And by then I had. He did me a solid, though, which was nice. I said, hey, man, we got like 30 minutes to get to whatever the United thing was. He's like, man, you're not going to make it. I'm like, I know. He's like, get in. So we get in and sat down. We're the only ones on his tram. Usually he waits till they fill up or whatever. He slams the door shut. And he goes. He takes off.
Nice.
Hustling. He was rolling. I'm not sure how fast those little trams are supposed to go, but he was cooking along pretty good. So
now it's like a movie.
It was. It really was. So I think we're down to, 15 minutes maybe by then. And we're just getting off the tram and trying to find which way we got to go, because I think we had to go up an escalator or 2. Then we get to the checkpoint. And so the checkpoint naturally is backed up about as far as you can be. And so I was asking some people, hey, we got a flight that's leaving here. And I think by then, 10 minutes, could get ahead. And actually, the people were pretty nice. There were a couple dicks that we had to wait behind or whatever, but let us kind of get up to the front, more towards the front. We start going through that. And I think my wife's bag tripped something in the freaking security meter. And so I had already gotten through. They're like going back and forth. And I think she got pulled aside, to do her thing. So I told her, I'm going to run to the gate and see if it's still there. You come with the kids. And she's like, okay. So I take off running for the gate. Cause I think I heard at least once a last call for our flight number. Mm-hmm. And by the time I got to the door, they were closing the door, absolutely closing the door. It hadn't quite latched yet, but I was like, wait, we're here. And they actually let us on the plane. With seconds to spare. And I was like, I need 2 or 3 more minutes. I said, my wife got hung up with her kids, gave them the whole story or whatever, kind of how the day was. And they were nice enough to wait. But then it was the walk of shame kind of down, the airplane thing, because we're those people that everybody's waiting to get the hell out of there because it's a 7-hour flight. I had a couple grumpy looks, but at that point I didn't care. I mean, it had been a day already. The other thing, once we got there and got on the plane, I'm thinking about how the day went. I mean, we'd taken off and all that. I'm thinking, shit, when we come back, our return flight's to Omaha. Our car's in Kansas City. When we got there, so then I had to go through this whole thing and explain the situation, which wasn't terrible, but it was just one more thing that we had to get our flight changed. You know, we got paid to go back to Omaha. Well, I had to go back to Kansas City. We made it, but I knocked a couple of years off my life for sure. And it was probably a good thing I had my blood pressure medication because, man, I was about to hemorrhage out on that whole experience.
Holy crap.
It was just a nightmare. And then by the time we land, though, right, it's still, we get there at like noon or something. And so we still had the whole day. I was just beat. I didn't feel like doing anything.
I think by that point, the rest of us had gotten there and we're just kind of chilling.
Yeah.
I would think so.
I was trying to remember if we had an issue on the way back. I think we did because we had to go through Vegas, I think, somehow. I don't remember why.
Doesn't sound like an issue to me.
No, but at least I wasn't on a time crunch. I didn't care when I got back necessarily. But
Once you get there, the time crunch is gone.
Right.
yeah.
That makes my story sound like crap.
If you're going to do different airlines, do them on different days.
Maybe if it was separate days would have been okay. But yeah, never again would I do something like that on the same day with two different airlines. Just a nightmare. That was definitely my worst. The only other story I have would be like the FBI story, but that's not really airline related.
It's airline related. It just wasn't the airline's fault. I think it's a pretty good story.
It wasn't. I mean, you can tell it if you think people want to hear it.
I want to hear it.
Me too.
Okay. This one wasn't quite as bad.
TSA doesn't like you to bring ammunition through the checkpoints.
Funny thing, they really don't. And the FBI has no sense of humor. I'll just throw that out there right now. It was an Orlando trip, actually. I think my parents, and then I don't know if my sister went, but then like my family again. I think we only had the one kid at the time because it was probably 9-10 years ago, I suppose. Getting down there, no real problem. I mean, coming back, however, in Orlando Airport, things took a turn for the worse for me. It was one of those situations, I guess, where the bag went off going through the thing. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know if it was a random type of check type of thing they do, or if I did have something in there. I mean, nothing. I had the same stuff in there as when I went down through Omaha. And so I was like, okay, it's more sensitive to something. So get pulled out of line. And not only get pulled out of line, but I got asked to stand next to this nice old gentleman. Just kind of hung out there for probably wasn't as long as I thought. But, when you're the guy that everybody's staring at because now you're holding up the line, it's like, God, probably 3 or 4 minutes. It was a while. And so I finally walked up there and I said, what are you looking for? I'm like, what's taking so long? Because they took the bag out. And at that point, they'd take my stuff out. It's fine. And then they kept running the bag through the stupid scanner thing and then opening it up and trying to dump it out. I'm like, what are you guys looking for? Like, well, sir, we have reason to believe you have live ammunition in this bag. I'm like, what? I'm like, I didn't put any ammunition in there. I came down. It's the same bag I had. Well, it's, TSA. You need to go stand over there while we continue our investigation or something. I don't know. Okay, fine. In the meantime, getting these piercing glares from my wife, trying to figure out what I had maybe stowed in there that I had forgotten or whatever, didn't see. So I'm like shrugging my shoulders. I was like, I don't know what they're looking for. But they said ammunition. I'm like, okay, fine. So another, minute went by. I'm like, oh, you know what? I remember. So I had a backpack, and then inside my backpack, I had a smaller backpack just for like putting water bottles and stuff, like a sling or whatever. It's like, I took that thing hunting not that long ago, prairie dog hunting. So I'm like, oh.
Oops.
I go back up there. I was like, oh, hey. Not that they wanted to hear it. I was like, I took this thing hunting probably a year ago. I'm like, I dumped it all out. And I did, because I dumped everything out before I put it in my other bag. Just kind of use it for whatever, laundry or whatever. Yeah, we're looking at it or whatever. So go back, talk. Go back standing next to the guy, because I had to talk to the FBI guy like, I don't know, 3 different times, asking me what I was doing and where I had the ammunition and stuff, which they hadn't actually even found yet. I'm like, man, and I told him, I was like, it's probably my bag that I was prairie dog hunting with. I'm from the Midwest or whatever. I didn't think about it. I dumped it out. Nothing fell out. I came through Omaha. They didn't catch anything there. I said, I didn't realize it was in there. It was a mistake. And the old guy next to me, he's chuckling a little bit. Nice guy. He's like, I'm really surprised they found anything in there. I was like, well, they haven't even found anything yet. They haven't shown me anything yet. By then they were starting to let other people come through. And so at this point, my wife was through the check thing and sitting on a bench giving me, laser stares for the next 5 minutes while they're trying to tear my stuff apart. And so they had the bag out, and that's the one they were running back through, because they dump it out. They actually had it turned inside out, checking every pocket. Like, is there a secret pocket on this thing? I'm like, not that I know of.
Yeah, the one where I keep my ammunition.
Apparently, obviously it works really well. Because I had 3 or 4 guards over there, and I'm like just sitting there rolling my eyes. And so I had another call back from the FBI guy with some more questions, and they had finally, while I was on the phone with him the second time, they had finally dropped out on the floor. There's 2 of them in there. I mean, they were live rounds. They weren't just the casings. They're like, we found them. I'm like, yay! You know, I'm glad you found it. So what had happened is, so there was a tear in like the seam in the bottom, and so the 2 bullets were wedged in between the 2 layers of fabric. And there just happened to be other bulky pockets on there, so you really couldn't, squish it with your hands to feel them. They had slid in there, so when you turn it inside out and you're shaking it out, they weren't falling out. And so that's why they kept running it through the machine, trying to figure out where in the bag they were. The FBI guy's like, "Well, sir, what having live ammunition is, I don't know, serious offense or something like that." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." I said it's a mistake. He goes, "What were you planning to do with this ammunition, sir?" I'm like, I don't have a gun. Was I supposed to throw it at him? He didn't like that. I'll just throw that right now, because I'm like, what am I going to do with 2 little 22 bullets? I got nothing to shoot them with. But oddly enough, funny little tidbit to that, my father was over in another line, and he got pulled out of line for having a gun in his stuff. Now, it was a toy gun from Disney World, but, put it together. He's got a gun, and I've got the ammunition. Right. Well, nobody ever put that together. But anyway, it was one of them. It was one of them pirate guns anyway, like what they call it, the big end, a blunderbuss thing or whatever, musket. Yeah. Anyway, he's like, "Sir, this is a serious matter." I'm like, "Okay, what do you want me to tell you?" And like, it was an accident and all this. And after them telling my wife to go ahead and go on down to the gate, which she did, and telling her that I probably wasn't going to make my next flight, she should just carry on without me. They really didn't need to rev her up like that. She was wound pretty tight by that point anyway. So anyway, the FBI, this was the 3rd call or whatever, because they'd ask me questions, and then they would go, I don't do a background check, or I assume they were watching me on their cameras to see my body motion, and if they thought I was lying to them about stuff. The 3rd time he called back, I don't know, he finally let me go. The weird part was they didn't have me, I was thinking, okay, here comes the gentleman with the glove type of thing, body cavity search and all that type of thing. None of that happened. I don't think they even wanded me after that. I didn't have to go through the scanner where they do your whole body thing or whatever like that. But I remember him saying, "So, what should we do about this?" I was like, I don't know, man. What did I tell you? It's an accident. The dealings with my wife after this whole thing are probably worse than anything you're going to do to me anyway. He's like, "Well, we'll let you off this time with a warning." And so they let me go. But the old guy is like, I'm really surprised they found it. I'm like, I don't know how they found it. I said, they got through Omaha. He goes, "Well, I think what probably happened was, going through the Omaha thing, they were maybe pointing straight up. So they just looked like maybe a couple small dots."
Sure.
But when I was coming back from Orlando, maybe they were laying on their side where they could see the profile. I was like, oh. Anyway, I made my flight and had to face the wrath of my wife for the next week or week and a half about the stupidity of that. And so,
2 things.
not that exciting.
I don't think you need to slander my sister like that. She's very understanding in those situations.
Is she? Okay. We'll go with that version. That's not how I experienced it, but.
And that's how easy it is to foil TSA. Just saying.
Yeah.
It really, yeah.
Yeah, because you did have a live ammo on a plane, that first leg, yeah.
I did. And the old guy even made the comment too. We get that quite a bit. He goes with people, especially, I think he said from the Midwest, hunters, they take their bags and they got a couple rounds left in there that.
So the old guy's FBI too?
No, he was just like a retired security guard. He's like a Walmart greeter with a badge and a taser. Is really about it. Yeah. Nice guy.
So the other guy's trying to scare you, intimidate you. But this guy's like just snickering, like, yeah, they're not going to do nothing.
Yeah. He's trying to, whatever, strong arm me or whatever. But I never met the FBI guy. I thought for sure we'd go in like some room somewhere, and it's like some sort of interrogation. It was all on the phone, right there next to the gate, actually. They had a desk or a counter there, but it probably took me 15, 20 minutes, I suppose, to actually be able to walk down to catch the flight.
That's it?
Overall, yeah.
After they told my sister that you were going to miss your flight?
Yeah.
Dicks.
Exactly. I mean,
yeah.
Come on, man. That was unnecessary. I get, beating me up.
They could have thrown you a solid there, yeah.
Yeah, no, they didn't. So then it was, I don't even know if she said much to me, like most of the flight home and on the way back home. It was more the kind of the glares type of thing, like, what'd you just put me through? You talk to the FBI. I wouldn't say that. Maybe the moral stories don't fly with me. Don't fly with Adam, I guess. Maybe is the takeaway from all this.
That's kind of badass. Live ammo on a plane.
Yeah, right.
There was one time I took a private plane up to South Dakota. We were selling part of a company that we owned up there. And anyways, private plane. It was a 6-seater plane, but like 4 normal sized people, right? A guy that went with us bought a gun up there solely for the purpose to bring it back on that plane to say he had a gun on a plane because it was a private plane. You know, you don't got to go through security or anything. So he bought a gun up there only for the purpose of saying he brought a gun on a plane.
Was this guy you?
No, it was not.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah.
Good question, but no. It was pretty funny. Not a lot of people can say they've had live ammo on a plane, but you're on that list.
I am on that
like
list,
it.
and probably a couple others, if I'm honest, I don't know about.
Well, should we wrap this up?
Yeah, we probably should. Thank you to Adam for being here with us. Very insightful. We've had many great ideas that I honestly see coming to light here in the near future.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Very, very great to talk to you.
I'm sure you'll be back.
Yeah, maybe.
I would hope so. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoy our podcast, or even if you don't, consider subscribing and giving us a rating, as many stars as possible.
3.
Say that again, sorry.
3.
3 stars? At least 3.
I think we should shoot for 3 now. We have a 2. Let's go for 3 now.
Let's just go
3
for
star.
3. Okay. I mean, I don't want to set the bar too high, but also don't want to request only 3.
Well, 3 or above.
3 or above. Okay. 3 or above. That's fair.
Let's not get crazy. This is only episode 11.
Can I rate my own episode?
You may.
Actually, you can, yes.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right.
There's no regulation on that. And please do.
All the 5 stars we just assume are friends and family. The 2 stars. The 2 star is also a former friend named Geoff.
Haters gonna hate.
Jeff's gonna Geoff.
Well, anyway, as many stars as possible.
Juber. I mean, no, what was it?
No.
Damn it.
Goober.
Goober.
Goober. Goober is the right term
Almost made it.
for Geoff with a G running an Uber.
Goober. I'll remember that.
For many reasons.
I will remember that.
You can also find us on all major social media outlets at Strip Walking, or by visiting us at stripwalking.com, of course. Thank you all again for listening, and may all your 7 show on the come out roll.
2 stars is 1 star above 1 star.